Newsletters are dead, or are they? You see, the other day I was wasting time on X when it should have been writing, and I came across this tweet from an author I admire. He wrote on X, "I'm sad the newsletter era is ending." To be honest, I was more than sad. I was actually a bit worried. Why? Well, I've spent dozens of hours and thousands of dollars into growing my newsletter over the past few months. I send newsletters every day. I offer a mix of writing advice and insights into what it's like to get paid to write. 25,000 writers read my newsletter. Was it all for nothing? Are newsletters dying a slow and painful death? For a long time, a newsletter business wasn't my number one focus. I got paid to write a different way. First, I worked as a freelance journalist in Ireland, granted not a very good one. Then I worked as a copywriter for a B2B company, and then I built niche websites. I used display ads on my blog posts to earn money, and I ran affiliate promotions. And I earned well from both. But today, I wouldn't recommend these business models. They've got a big problem. Your writing business can tank when Google changes its algorithm. Go on SEOX right now and you'll find tales of woe from niche website publishers like me. Dozens of writers, bloggers, and publishers are going out of business. Why? Google doesn't like their sites, and it's ranking sites like Forbes, Quora, and Reddit in their place. Or it's scraping their content and using it for AI-generated results. And that's all before considering how easy it is for someone to build a content website with an AI tool like ChatGPT. I get dozens of emails every week from wannabe-preneurs hawking their latest AI content tools. I load most of these AI tools. I've no interest in using AI to write. You're far better writing what AI can't. So I decided to change my content publishing business to a newsletter first model a while ago. Now I send out daily newsletters with insights about writing online. I offer a roadmap for getting paid to write, and I also offer coaching. When I read that tweet declaring that newsletters were dead, I logged into my ConvertKit stats. My email list currently sits around 25,000. I get 100 new subscribers every week, and I do that without spending money on paid ads. And I actually had a larger email list a few months ago, but I cleaned out people who weren't opening my emails. Good list hygiene makes for better open rates. Now, my personal vanity stats aside, since I switched from SEO to email is now driving the bulk of revenue for my business. And that revenue is slowly increasing. I earn from my newsletter by selling coaching, courses, newsletter sponsorships, and affiliate promotions. I spend 30 to 45 minutes writing one email a day and I send it to my list. I then review the stats, engage with readers, and do more of what works. Now, I could bore you with some other newsletter stats, like the one that says email marketing drives up to $40 in revenue for every $1 you invest. That's meant for the B2B industry. And I'm just one guy running one newsletter. So, a while ago I interviewed Hamish McKenzie. Perhaps you know him. You definitely know his product. He's the co-founder and chief operating officer of Substack. According to McKenzie, Substack has thousands of newsletter writers and millions of readers. He told me,
something that demonstrates your voice as the writer, your particular worldview, and your quality of thought. So those are the things that people are subscribing to, really. They're not subscribing to content, they're subscribing to you, the writer. And so your worldview, the way you look at things and interpret things and then communicate that is really important.
If you're wondering what newsletters you could start, here are some hot niches right now. Writing, entertainment, a local newsletter, cryptocurrency, tech, online entrepreneurship, your favorite sport, marathon training, that's my favorite sport, climate change, advocacy journalism, politics, local news, the list goes on. You don't need to get on camera like me, and you don't have to worry about short or long form video. Instead, write a daily or even a weekly newsletter if you're doing it around a full-time job. The content and format should be valuable and helpful, something people love opening. And in each email, pitch your offer or sell a sponsored slot. How about some tales from the front line of newsletter operators? If you need some inspiration, study these newsletters before you start your own. Now, the most high-profile newsletter operator online is Alex Lieberman. He sold Morning Brew, which is a daily business newsletter, for $75 million. That's right, 75 million. Granted, Morning Brew employed dozens of people. It was a type of media company. And Tyler Dank from Morning Brew is now growing Beehive. You can use that tool to start and grow your daily newsletter. Personally, I prefer ConvertKit. That's what I use, and I find it's great. But anything that makes space easier to get into for writers is welcome. It's not all about tools and tech. I've met and interviewed lots of solopreneurs and writers who are killing it with their daily newsletters. Author Elle Griffin is one example. She writes The Elysian over on Substack. I interviewed her, and she credits her personal newsletter with helping her earn a full-time living writing online. She says she could never earn a good living from just writing a book because not enough people buy books. She told me,
pretty simple. I just want to write. Substack handles everything else for me. They handle monetization. They're constantly A/B testing their product to make sure this is the best way people subscribe after reading one of your newsletters. And so I don't really have to do anything apart from just write a newsletter, and Substack kind of handles everything else, which is great because now I've been on Substack for a little more than a year and I have 5,000 newsletter subscribers and 15,000 in annual revenue, which is much better than if I had just put my book up on Amazon and maybe got less than 1,000 sales.
A few weeks ago, I got on Zoom with a well-known direct response copywriter. He's built up a small but highly engaged list of copywriters and online marketers. I'm on his list. I read his emails every day. I look forward to them. I've even bought his products. And he told me he earns multiple six figures a year from his newsletter first lifestyle business. He spends 30 to 45 minutes writing his daily newsletters. He writes and sends one out every day with an offer for his list. An insight from the front line of copywriting, plus a clear call to action to buy something. Readers love it. James Breakwell, also known as Exploding Unicorn, is another good example. He's a prolific comedy writer, and he built up a loyal following of over 1 million followers on X. How? Well, he posted jokes about life as a dad to 3 kids. And sometimes he'd ask his followers to join his email list. And he built a relationship with his email list by emailing out articles they liked every Sunday. I interviewed him and he told me,
so the next step is to get them to my newsletter. It's like, if you liked reading 280 characters that I put out, maybe you'll like reading 2,000 words. Yeah. And so I have a free newsletter that comes out every Sunday where basically I just take something that happened this week. And it's those newsletters, under like the tweets, which are kind of a mix of truth and fiction, kind of inspired by real life. The newsletters are 100% true.
Justin Welch is another successful newsletter operator. He grew the Saturday Solopreneur newsletter first on LinkedIn and then on X. And he's got over 215,000 subs, including me. He sends out one newsletter a week. It's a great read for people who want to quit their job and start a one-person or solopreneur business. His content is actionable and easy to read. And he also pitches his course and community if you need more help. TLDR, or Too Long Didn't Read, is another popular newsletter. They send out a daily email about the most interesting startup tech and programming trends. With over 750,000 subscribers, it earns a whopping $5 million a year last time I checked. And that's from sponsorships and promos. They acquire sponsors directly on their site because the newsletter is so big. Look, if you're writing online, the internet is a noisy place. Our attention spans are screwed. That's thanks to Shorts and TikTok. And AI is changing the game and making things more complicated for pro writers. But I can tell you now, newsletters are still great for connecting with readers. You can use a newsletter to build an audience and to get paid. And this business model is low cost too. It only takes a few minutes to start a newsletter. Some tools to check out include Beehive, Substack, and ConvertKit, which is what I use. All of these platforms only take a few minutes to figure out, and they'll help you grow your list organically through reading recommendations. Or you can grow your list yourself by writing and sharing helpful content related to your niche or industry on LinkedIn and X, although X is a bit of a grind these days. Or if you want to accelerate things, you could invest in paid ads on Facebook. Now, whatever your approach, once you get to 1,000 subscribers, you've got a newsletter business. And then, well, Beehive and ConvertKit will help you get sponsors who want to buy slots in your newsletter. I regularly get emails from the ConvertKit team about companies that want to buy slots on my list. And if you grow your list even bigger, you can acquire sponsors directly. So here's the thing. If you want to run a one-person business, if you're comfortable writing regularly online, if you know your niche or industry, and if you're prepared to write what AI can't, because that's what people want to read, newsletters are an insanely rewarding and profitable business model. And they're fun too. The other day, that same author from X that I mentioned at the start of the video, the one who questioned the era of the personal newsletter, well, he emailed me his latest Substack post. You see, I subscribed to his personal newsletter. And guess what? He's a book out this summer. And it looks like a fun read. The kind of book I'd love. Kind of book I'd probably miss out on because my reading list is so massive. And let's face it, what's one book when so much great content exists out there for free? But in his email, he offered pre-order bonuses to anyone on his personal newsletter who pre-orders the book. He wants his book to hit the bestseller list. Engaging with a loyal army of newsletter readers is a great strategy. And I pre-ordered his book to get the bonuses. And I replied to his email and I told him, good luck with your launch. Something I would never have considered if he didn't have personal newsletter. If you got questions about starting your personal newsletter, ask me in the comments section below. I'd love to help. If you want to get more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.